by the Housing Society in the new Tanner Hill facilities. So I'm going to visit the place, and if I'm allowed to buy them, I probably will. Now, so I don't get into it, okay? So now, but nonetheless, I think, there is just a limited, let me remind the audience here, a limited thing that, any government could do. Whatever, you are caring or non-caring government, you cannot rely on the government 100%. I say this every time, I give such talks, and I want to remind every single person here that, there are three things you must save for yourself, So you save money, obvious. You save health since, when you were young, okay, until you're old, you have a fitter body. But don't forget to save friends as well. Now, let me end by reminding those men in the audience, you need to make friends with young girls too. Now, I know what you're thinking. Now, it's not for that purpose. Okay, the purpose is that, for a young woman, a young lady, in particular, is from an Asian culture, we know that our ladies are much more caring as well as that, they are much more be able to see into your details, including your money in the pocket. That's okay, huh? So don't take me liable. First of all, and of course, younger. Why younger? Because they are, still having the kind of energy, supporting you at home. So making friends with younger women would definitely, give you a lot of mileage. But that's on condition. That's on condition you don't have a wife around you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Chen. And now we have come to the last speaker in this plenary session. May I invite Mr. Wong Kit Loong, the Chief Executive Officer and Executive Director of Hong Kong Housing Society, to share the experience of the Housing Society in aging in place. Mr. Wong, please.
Oh, I think our chairman just listened to what Alfred said. He's now hurrying to get a young woman as his friends now. So, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I'm going to spend about 20 minutes to share with you some of the experience of the Housing Society in aging in place. Let me briefly talk about what is Housing Society. Some of you might not know. We were founded in 1948, so we are close to 70 years old. We are a NGO with a social mission. We are not for profit, but we have to be financially independent. So some of our friends here always criticize that we are too cost conscious. Please forgive us. We can't make donations as you requested from time to time. And we aim to serve the needs of the Hong Kong community. Our business, we have subsidized housing that include rental. We have about 32,000 rental units, subsidized rental units, and they are all for the low-income family. We also developed over 20,000 subsidized sales flats in basically two schemes, the same-rich class housing scheme and the flat for sale scheme. We also developed non-subsidized flats. Basically, those are all urban renewal flats. And we have 576 elderly housing. That is the middle income housing, and I'm going to talk about it later in my slides. The aging population in Hong Kong, I guess you are all quite familiar. In the year of 2020, we are going to have 26% of our population over 60 years old. And the population is aging rapidly in the next 40 years or so. So the issue of elderly housing is quite obviously that we need to address too. I would like to talk about aging in place. This is a elderly policy, and Alfred just mentioned about that aging in place as the core and institutional care as backup, which is a policy of the Hong Kong government. And we have, in fact, recently done a survey. The University of Hong Kong conducted a survey as commissioned by the Housing Society. The survey shows that an average of 85% of the soon-to-be old and the old age group, soon-to-be old means those who are above 50. The old age group means those who are above 60. 85% of this group of people consider favorably to continue aging at their own homes, and the preference for aging in place grew positively with age. So this is quite an obvious trend. And their ideal elderly housing arrangement is to age in place without having to move away from the original communities and living in homes modified with universal design suitable for elderly living. So this preference is quite clear from our survey. But then there are challenges. It's not very easy to have aging in place in all places. That include barrier-free access and informal care support and formal care support from the neighborhood. These might be all related to public spending and social resources. So in fact, the Elderly Commission and both the Housing Society, we never lose any opportunities to push the government to spend more in the aging in place concept. Now, what we see the key components of a quality retirement living. I think when we retire, we all want to move around safely and freely in our own place. We also like to get care and support conveniently and easily. That includes social life and care by others. I think we would also like to be regularly make conscious of our own health condition through professional medical attention or on a regular basis. So we think that these are the three components that to ensure that we could have a quality retirement living. Housing Society has tried different housing initiatives, and in the three different segments, we have different housing initiatives: the low-income group, the middle-income group, and the higher aspiration. Now, for the lower-income group, the aging trend is quite obviously in our rental estates. We have about over 35% of our tenants are over 60. We are talking about 30,000 tenants. And by 2018, that is 3 years from now, it would increase to around 40%. And then to 2023, we expect half of our tenants would be over 60. So the situation would be quite serious in about 20 years' time. And we also noticed that there are increasing singletons living in our rental estate, the elderly singletons, and also doubletons as well. Now, for low-income group, we provided over 900 elderly flats in 9 of our rental estates since the early 70s. We charge a relatively lower rent for these elderly people. We have warden services, and we have the AIP scheme implemented as well for these rental estates. For the AIP, we think that we should have 3 components as similar to the quality living. We should have housing support, healthcare support, and social care support. The principle is that we would like to build up a caring and elderly-friendly community. But Housing Society, we only provide housing. So sometimes for other type of services, we need support of our counterparts. When implementing the AIP, we are very happy to have the partnership with many other NGOs Currently, we have 47 community centers and home help teams. We have 41 social enterprise and NGOs. We have 20 educational institutions. And we have 31 others, including hospitals, government hospitals, nursing consultancy, government departments, and also commercial companies giving us support. Of course, we know that these are the resources available from the community, and the services are there anyway. Whether you take it or not, the services are there. Our role is to coordinate and organize social projects, activities for our tenants. With the benefit of our being the housing manager, then we have a very, very good information of the tenants' profile and tenants' particulars. So we are quite, we have a very clear understanding of the situation in our estates, and we could mobilize the social service team to help the elderly tenants in our estates. But still, we have to maintain our own AIP team. Currently, we have 36 staff. That includes the occupational therapists, the social workers in our team to coordinate all these AIP services. First, let me talk about the home safety. It includes some home modification work. The right-hand corner is the one that most impressed me because I remember one of the tenants feel very frustrated because he can't take a shower by himself. Always he needs someone else to help, and he feels very embarrassed every time when he needs to take a bath. When we install this very simple device, then he could live independently and happily. So I think these sort of devices are quite cost-effective. And for some of our old rental estate, when the tenants move in, they are only 30-something, so they could walk up a long flight of stairs. But after 40 years, they become elderly, and we need to provide barrier-free access to all these tenants. And shuttle lifts are being installed in almost most of our rental estate. We need to have this. Healthcare support. For this, we certainly would need the support of some medical institutes. As you can see that we've got a lot of class and the psychosocial support services as well, and the fixed and mobile health facilities. That means we have daycare center, we have a Chinese medicine mobile clinic. These are very good services to our elderly tenants. So our tenants, they don't only need the medical attention, they also need to have social activities. What we are doing is we are trying to mobilize the young olds in our rental estate to help the old olds. And they are all very happy because they could still have some use. They find themselves very useful to help others who are older than them. So we are making use of the resources within the rental estates. For the middle income group, we have a scheme called Senior Citizen Residence Scheme. Currently, we have 500 odd rental units for the elderly people who are over 60. This sort of scheme, the design is that we have the residential flats, we have the residence club, we have the RCHE, we have the day respite center, and we have the clinic within the same development. So tenants living about would find it quite easy to see their doctor, and then they have to receive regular medical attention on a monthly basis. So this is what we call a sort of aging in place. This type of middle income group elderly housing, we have been talking to government hoping that we could develop more. So far we have developed 2. They are all fully occupied, and we still have about 700 people waiting for a place. The eligibility, as you can see that these are for the middle income group people. If you read the news recently, some of the elderly tenants came out and said that we are charging them the monthly services. We are increasing $30, and then they come out to protest. But the principle is user pay for services. What they pay is a life lease for the tenancy, so they don't have to pay rent, but still they have to pay the services. For these two projects, the flat size is 250 square feet to 400 square feet. We only have two types, studio and one bedroom. Let me walk through with you the design. This is quite a non-institutional type of development. So it's sort of home feel. What you see is a studio flat. Oh, this is real, I can tell you. It's still there. This is the one bedroom flat. And the bathroom and the kitchen, they are all universal design. We have a security viewer, high and low, so those using wheelchairs could also make use of the security viewer. We also have wireless watch transmitter, so the elderly tenant, wherever they go, when they press a button, then we would know where they are and give them assistance as they need it. We also have a seat in the lift, so they don't have to stand all the way up to their floor, and bedside nurse call button. Also, the design is there for rescue. The bathroom door could be opened two sides, so when the elderly people they just fell within the bathroom, then we could open it from the other side. And there are smoke detector, fire signal light, and there is a refuge area. So in case of fire, the elderly tenant, they don't have to walk downstairs. They could just wait at the refuge area. Then the firemen would come to rescue them. There is a club also in this development. In one of the projects, we are trying to close down the swimming pool because less user would use it, and then we convert it into an open space. But there are still a few they want to use it, so they have some noise about our closing down the swimming pool. But we have a residents association, so we consulted the tenants. And when they need medical attention, we have the residential care home for the elderly below. And this is particularly good for a couple because when the other part, they need medical attention, then the spouse, they would find it quite easy because upstairs is their own bedroom and then downstairs is the residential care home for the elderly. So it's easy for the other part to look after their spouse. And then we come to the higher aspiration group. These are for the more affluent, more independent, more outgoing, and health conscious, and post-retirement linkage with the community. The newspaper has been reporting our Tanner Hill these 2 days, and they are waiting outside for our chairman also to interview him about the price of our Tanner Hill projects. So this is the Tanner Hill project. It is a life lease project. We don't sell it, we just lease it for life. We pay full land premium. Of course, the land premium reflecting the restriction that only those who are above 60 could live there, and there is no property ownership for the flats. Since we pay full land premium, there is no restriction at all on your financial resources. So anyone who are above 60 could apply for a flat. We have 588 flats in these projects. Unlike the same projects for the middle income group I just mentioned, we have 7 flat types here, from studio, one bedroom and a storeroom, up to what we call a combined units. And we also have an elderly hub. When we develop these projects, we are not thinking about only serving these 588 tenants. We are trying to serve the local community. So there is an elderly hub with all the medical with clinics, residential care home, and we also have the Chinese medicine clinic as well. This is for serving the whole community. In this project, it is 37-story height. We have 3 blocks, 3 towers. We have 2 clubs. One is for the residents. The other one is for those who join our Joyous Living Club. So that means those who are not living here could still join the club and enjoy our club services, which is a 3rd floor. And then from 6th to 9th floor, we have daycare center and the residential care home for the elderly, catering for different needs. At the 7th floor, we have the cognitive care. At 8th floor, we have the assisted care, and at the 9th floor, we have the intensive care. This is the architect's impression, but I can assure you that they really look like real, because I just went to the site yesterday. It's even better than the picture. This is a lifestyle project with all the facilities required for those who want to have a quality retirement living. We have a wellness center, we have Chinese medicine clinic, a mini theater, and also we have a Cantonese restaurant. We already engaged the Chessy, the restaurant. We have conference room. The conference room is particularly for those young olds who still want to do business or still have some connection. And we have a multi-function room, and we have an indoor heated swimming pool. And then we have concierge and secretariat services and housekeeping, food and beverage. Again, the design is also a universal design. You would not notice this flat is especially for the elderly people when you move in, because they are all hidden somewhere, and they are there when you need it. For example, if you look at the picture, at the bathroom, we have a cabinet, but this cabinet is demountable. So when you move it out, your wheelchair could move in, could park there. It's quite convenient. And we have sliding doors, demountable partition, emergency call button. Now, these are all there when you need it. Similarly, we have also the demountable cabinet in the open kitchen. So even if you are on a wheelchair, you could still do the cooking and stuff like that. Now, continuum of living. For projects like Tanner Hill, we believe that people moving in would first live quite independently. They are still very energetic, and they still want to enjoy their life. And then with the passage of time, then they would come to the stage of assisted living and eventually dependent living. This is a typical unit floor plan. We have all the emergency call response system, health data collection monitoring, entrance door contact tracking, and no motion response detection. Now, these are all related sometimes to the personal privacy. Of course, we need the tenant's agreement before we activate the no motion response detection, the entrance door contact tracking. But for the others, they are there. So if you need it, anytime when they press it, we have a central control monitoring system to receive all the messages. So the support is there. Then when they come to the assisted living stage, we have outreach home-based care, and we also have daycare center. As I just pointed out, that we have a daycare center at 6th floor of the development. We also have rehabilitation center and home care support services. So these are there when you need it, when you in the stage of assisted living. Okay, I only have 5 minutes left. I know. Dependent living, we have skilled care facilities and services. There is a residential care home for the elderly. We have about 110 beds there. And the services of the residential care home for the elderly, I think they are all the same like others. But then they look different. So let me turn to the other topic. It's about cross-generation. In the Hong Kong youth study, we also noticed that more older generation people have strong preference to live with the younger, with the adult children. On the other hand, about 25% of the adult children want to live with their elderly parents. This is quite easily understood, but I think the trend is getting better because the younger children can't afford to buy properties out there. There are factors, of course, affecting the preference. First, it's the size of the flat. If you have a larger flat, of course, you want to live together. And then it's about the health condition of the elderly. For the younger generation, the reasons for their having desire to live with their parents are mutual care and their inability to purchase their own properties. And we have, in our